you guys, and I hope you enjoy the docu-series or watching the docu-series as much as we enjoyed making it.
That is exactly what makes it the special screening of Dakar docu-series, because I'm sure that you guys must have watched the Destination Dakar, all the episodes of Destination Dakar already. But what makes this special is the man behind the docu-series and the entire Dakar 2025. So, without any further ado, I would like to update you guys with the schedule first. So, we'll be starting with all 3 episodes of the Dakar Destination, which will be around 25 to 26 minutes in total. After which, we will take up all the questions that you have about the journey, the adventure, the Dakar, the tires, etc. with Ashish Rane. And then we will also have some time allotted for signings of the merch, the posters, maybe some jerseys that you guys have got, or maybe some helmets if you don't mind, Ashish, that is, signing all the merch for them. And that is how we'll conclude the event for the day. Of course, with all that, we also have our brand and strategy head, Mr. Anish Thakkar. I'm sorry, Anish and Ashish, I got a little confused, my bad, sorry. So later on, after the Dakar docu-series, after watching it, a session when we have the Q&A session, you can ask questions to Anish also as well as Ashish. So let's do this, I guess, without any further ado. Shall we start with the docu-series?
Yes, please.
Can't hear you. Shall we?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Perfect.
It's like -4, and that's really the tougher part rather than the actual racing.
Ashish.
Depends what part of the season I'm in. But in general, it's nothing very glorified as you would see on Instagram. I like to keep things simple, and rather keep it simple and consistent. A lot of training, of course, closer to the event, especially the last quarter, it's almost 5-6 hours of training every day. This, what I would say, is kind of the off season. It's maybe 2 hours. But as a rally racer, we need to work on a lot of things because it's not rally racing really demands a lot. So it's endurance, you need strength, you need mental endurance as well, and then you have, of course, your motorcycle training. So each has its place. But as the season progresses and where we are in the year, closer to the races, it's more on bike. Off season, it's more off bike. So it kind of changes through the year.
He's just oversimplified. It takes another level of dedication and commitment altogether. Underneath is all sculpted, so
That's been visible for the last half decade, so there's absolutely no denying that.
like
Most important is not eating pizza.
I know. We went out for lunch and he was
This Pizza Express right there.
Yeah, I was there 2 hours ago, but I didn't eat the pizza.
Andheri and parking and pizza don't go together really well, so you should take that opportunity. Ashish, my question was that you got injured last time. So what has been your, have you fully recovered, and despite that, or if you have or have not, you still gone ahead with this? So was that a challenge as well? Were there limitations because of your collarbone injury?
No, not really. The collarbone injury is past me. It's the most common injury in motorsport. I'm lucky to have just broken it once. So there are people with multiple collarbone injuries. I think that's past me, and I think I always look at it as a blessing in disguise because after the injury, I worked extra hard to basically not let the injury come in my way. So it has been a blessing in disguise in a way. This year, the collarbone injury was not something, there were different challenges this year. Like I said earlier, the Dakar was extra tough this year. I did have a couple of crashes, very close calls, and it was a very tough decision to withdraw. because I had injuries on my wrist. So possibly one of the toughest decisions to make. But yeah, here we are.
Can you elaborate about the motor vehicle which you are using at present and how, what things are gone into upgrading it so far?
So most of us privateers use the KTM Rally Replica, which is a 450cc engine made for rally racing. KTM is now currently one of the few companies that offers this motorcycle. Soon there will be a Honda version of it also. In terms of upgrades, we always work on two things: suspension and tires. Tires, as you saw, were basically researched and developed specifically for this application. So that was the biggest upgrade, I would say, the tires.
How many tests the tires have undergone the final specification which we've seen on the screen for which are available?
Yeah, local. We started with local testing in Pune, which is on my track. Then we had the Spain round, Baharagon. After that, Jaisalmer. Then Morocco, Rally to Morocco, till we had the final iteration. But these were, I would say, just the phases of testing. I've been running these tires throughout, like pretty much every day. So there's a continuous feedback loop on what changes to be made. But essentially these were the bigger goalposts.
You have told that the climate has been a challenge. So how do you overcome these challenges in climatic conditions, different climatic conditions, especially the cold?
Yeah, there's really no way around it, especially for us who come from tropical climates. It's very difficult to get acclimatized that quick. Also, the only thing then you can fall back on is here. If you keep telling yourself it's cold and miserable, you will be cold and miserable. If you tell yourself, this is what it is and this is what we signed up for, things get a little bit easier. So I suppose acceptance works better than a sweater.
So can you tell us about how much the tires rank now compared to the world market?
Sure. Well, honestly, by virtue of our technological joint venture with Mitas, we in fact had access to what is being chosen by a roster of their athletes who has been participating in Dakar for over decades now. However, as a homegrown Indian company, we decided to build something from scratch with Ashish, benchmarking against what is being widely chosen as one of the variants, right? So we worked extensively over 6 months, over 8 months, tested it across more than 3 continents, more than 3 countries, and extensively used it, extensively tested it across endless terrains. So we don't compare our tires against competition necessarily, but